In next few years, we're going to see a complete transformation of education technology for schools, colleges, training institutes, academies, pretty much online, offline learning for all age groups. And the reason I know this because I've been in this industry for over 12 years. I founded Paradiso Solutions, which is an education technology company, back in 2010, right after I left Harvard Business School. And ever since, not only we follow the latest trend, actually we create the trends in the industry. So in this video, I'm going to talk about 5 major areas which are going to be transformational for education and training industry. So the first one is teaching delivery. Whether it's one-on-one teaching, you're tutoring somebody for math or science, or you're teaching a classroom, in the classroom or online virtual classroom, or running a workshop. So the teaching delivery system can be empowered with AI. So the first area which is going to transform is the teaching delivery. In fact, it's already getting transformed as we work with various clients in the US, in Middle East. Basically, the AI tutors have gotten so sophisticated that they can now teach one-on-one or in a classroom. Of course, the classroom setup is a little difficult, but the one-on-one delivery actually is much harder than teaching a classroom, because in teaching a classroom, the students are mostly 90% of the time they're passive, and the teacher is active. In one-on-one, the tutor needs to be very much interactive and have a lot more effectiveness meaning the ability to sense the emotion for the student. So it's much harder, but it's much easier to deploy. So we are seeing for our Indra AI many deployments for our AI tutor. So what's going to happen as a first phase is these AI tutors will start teaching one-on-one, and they have the capabilities to be able to understand the student's level. When the student interact, they can talk, they can hear, they can see through the camera. So the AI tutor have these senses which are needed to deliver a great training experience. They don't have emotions, but they can understand your emotions. So one of the areas where people get confused is that they will not be able to bond with students as much on one-on-one setting. And I'll tell you, that's not completely true. So the very first version of Indra Tutor we built was my hobby project as a side project, which I gave to Paradiso team for my daughter. So about 3 or 4 years ago, she got really interested in astronomy, and she was asking all these questions about the Mars and the lander and moon. And I just didn't have the time every day to kind of explain her. So I told her just Google it or look on YouTube. But she was just 6 years old. So when she will watch the YouTube videos, half the words and concepts she will not understand. And she will again come back running to me and ask, what does this mean? What does that word mean? And all that. So I said, what if I build an AI tutor who she can talk to and interact? So we built the very first version of Indra, where a student, a 6-year-old, will start the conversation, and this tutor has infinite memory. She will remember exactly what my daughter Amora had asked her 3 months ago, 2 months ago. She had all the knowledge in the world because our machine learning model fed all the data from the internet. And she was able to understand her emotional state depending on how she's asking the question, whether she's getting impatient with the answers, then she will give short answers. And if she's getting bored, then Indra will tell her the joke. And all of these sentiments, the AI models are able to figure out very well. They're not right 100% of the time, but you don't have to be right 100% of the time. It's much better than watching a YouTube video or sitting in a classroom with 30 students. So that's how the technology got evolved. So Indra was able to give a really personalized experience to each student. It was able to explain the concept better than any teacher I have seen in the world. And I'm sorry, the teachers who are listening, they might get offended, but I'll get back to you what your role will be in future. But it's technology, right? I mean, you cannot compete with a machine. The teachers and academics is more about connecting and coordinating rather than doing the teaching or delivering the teaching. There are better ways of delivering a teaching. So the first area which is going to get completely transformed with AI is AI teachers, tutors. So to bring the AI tutor from your computer or a mobile app into a classroom, we'll need to give it a different form. The technology, the brain is already ready. A teacher needs to be able to talk, needs to be able to hear, and be able to see. And it can do that through microphone, through webcam, and through a speaker. And it has amazing brain built on the machine learning models. So to be able to get these tutors in the classroom, what we have done with some of the schools is we have given it a semi-robotic form. Like this particular robot, a robot teacher doesn't need to walk or dance or lift something. So to save the cost, you can initially, the robot teachers will be just tabletops. You can put it on the table and be able to deliver a teaching subject or answer some questions. It could even act like a teaching assistant in the beginning. But eventually, in few years, this robot teacher will be able to walk and talk and write and be able to interact with the students almost as good as, in certain cases, better than. So that's the first part which is going to get revolutionized because of generative AI and robotics, which is teaching delivery. The second important aspect we are already seeing a lot of progress and a lot of adoption is content generation. To be able to create lesson plans, create videos, create entire courses. So one of the tools we have built is CogniSpark AI, and there are some other tools in the market. You just tell it a subject, for example, Physics 101 or Physics for 8th grade. It will create the entire course with images, with explanation, with applications, with videos, quizzes, and interactivity, the entire e-learning course in few minutes. And I will tell you, if I would have hired a physics teacher, and if I take an average of what the physics teachers are around, it probably did above average. It won't be able to beat the best teacher in the world, but it will be able to beat the average teachers in the world. So content creation, whether it's a book, a manual, assessments. So many of the schools are using the AI to generate question papers, assessments. So content creation is one big, huge area where AI will be transforming education and training industry. So now let's say you have a proprietary content which you're selling, which you're selling or teaching, and it's not on internet, but you want to reformat it into a video, or you want to create audio out of it, or you want to make some changes. You can just feed this content you have in a PDF format, a video format, or PowerPoint format, and AI will understand it, learn it, and make the changes you need. So it can work for content editing, content creation, whether it's your private content or it's a public content. And when you feed it your private content, a lot of the organizations have this question: what happens to my content? Does it go on internet? Will ChatGPT or some other AI will know about all my content? So that doesn't happen. When you upload that content in our platform, it stays private. Only you have access to it. The machine learning models will use it, make the generate something out of it, some kind of content or image or a video, and then forget about it. It's not going to use it again and again unless you want the machine learning model to learn it just for your login. The third major area is evaluations and simulations. So one of the universities is using our Indra to be able to give interview practice to the seniors, seniors who are graduating in next 6 months or a year. And this AI is able to ask questions, watch the video, watch the student on a webcam live, analyze his or her body language, voice intonations, and the content of the answers, and give it feedback live. So it's great for students who want to build that confidence. We want to build practice of answering questions about their background, about what they learned, their projects. So that's one area. Some schools in Middle East are using it to filter out the applications of the students. So it can assess the students and rank them. You can use it to evaluate the answers for essays, for physics questions, whether it's written or it's on computer. If it's written, you scan that answer paper and feed it to AI, and it's able to assess and give grades. The fourth area where we see AI entering is as an admin support. So to be able to run reports, to be able to create transcripts or reply to student questions. So as a back end operations, it can really reduce the workload on your admin and support staff. So one of the universities which has 30,000 students and probably 500,000 alumni, when they get a question from a student about their grades or some other issues they have, the admin is able to talk to the assistant, the AI assistant, and ask that question. The assistant can have access to the entire data of the students when they graduated, what were their grades, what were their feedback, where they're working, whatever, and get that answer out in minutes. Before, this used to take hours, and the student has to wait a week or two to get a reply. So any kind of report generation, any kind of template-based tasks, whether you want to send out application approval letters, application rejection letters, or transcripts, or reports to your higher up, this AI admin assistant is able to save a lot of time for the admin department. The fifth area we are seeing is on student support side, especially the academies or the training institutes or the corporation who have a lot of virtual training, e-learning or Zoom-based training. The student support becomes crucial, and these AI assistants are able to give the end user support without having it escalated to a human. So of course, if the AI is not able to answer the question, it will automatically transfer the question to a human agent. But normally we have seen about 80% of the questions could be handled by the AI and only 20% go to a human agent. So one of the training institute was able to reduce their support staff by about 80%. So the future of education technology is extremely bright. I get a lot of questions about what's going to happen to the jobs for the teachers, the admins. Of course, not just the education industry, but every industry from manufacturing to pharmaceutical to truck drivers, everybody is going to have some job losses. But there are also new jobs which are going to get created. So once we are able to do a lot of the admin and delivery of the teaching by AI, that frees up to do creative thinking. That frees up teachers to have the emotional connections with the students and really deliver an amazing transformational experience and give a lot more attention to the students. And not only that, the reach of the education will go far and beyond. So one of the dreams I had when I was studying at Harvard Business School is how can we take this amazing experience I had at Harvard? How can a kid in Bangladesh or in Africa get that kind of experience? And we tried that with YouTube, where the education is all open and free, but that's a very passive way of learning. You're just watching a video, you are not able to interact. With AI tutors and some of this technology, now there's going to be a two-way interaction between student and teacher at an affordable cost. So the reach of the education is going to increase, and that will create more jobs, more opportunities. So I feel like AI is going to be a big benefit to humanity. And there are going to be some reskilling and reshuffling needed for the jobs and what we do and how we do things. But overall, it's going to be great for teachers and universities and schools. So if you are interested in seeing how generative AI can transform one of your programs or your school, and you just want to maybe do a pilot or test out some of the technology we have to generate courses or do AI tutors, we have free trials available, we do free proof of concepts. We just want to be able to talk to you and educate you as to what is happening in this world. So you can reach out to us and find out how generative AI can transform your organization.